War Day 349. Situation on the fronts. In spite of the pressures of information about the great offensive by Russia with the opening of new directions from Belarus, there are no signs to confirm it. For such an offensive to be successful, it requires more troops, which is impossible to hide. A year ago everyone saw the accumulation of troops on the border, and advancing Kiev they were defeated. Now, to at least repeat last year's achievement, Russia needs many times more troops because the Ukrainians have prepared positions and the Russians have lost their most combat-ready personnel and the best equipment. On this basis, the likelihood of a new offensive against Kiev is extremely low. Nevertheless, the Russians will continue to escalate the situation and may even launch attacks in order to deter Ukrainian forces. Freedom Alliance, the German company FFG, and the British Pearson Engineering announced a contract to supply Ukraine with the Wisent 1MC to break through minefields. The contract is financed by the German government and will probably be German government is funding the contract, and it is likely that 42 of these vehicles will be delivered. The Wisent 1MC is the most offensive weapons, although there are no weapons on board. But first of all, these machines are designed for rapid clearance of minefields, so it can a defense breach in this way. And secondly, well, it's just a little bit creepy when you've got such a thing. East continued border shelling of Chernihiv, Sumy and Kharkiv regions continues. Fighting is going on along the line of Svatovo, Kremenna, now attacking Russians, but no advances have been seen. On the right bank of the Seversky Donets the Russians claimed about capturing Belagorovka, but footage confirms that the village is controlled by ZSU. The Ukrainian General Staff reported a repelled Russian attack near the village of Shipilovka north of Belagorovka. It appears that Ukrainian troops have advanced towards the said settlement. However, the logic of such advancement is not quite clear. For to the south, Russian troops are known to be advancing. So in the area of Soldar they captured Blagodatnoy and broke through fortified Ukrainian positions to the west. To the south fighting is going on for Krasnaya Gora, where Wagner's mercenaries have made little progress. In the industrial zone of Bakhmut there is fighting. In recent days, despite numerous attempts to move closer to the H-32 highway, the Russians have failed. Further fierce fighting in the Avdiivka area, where the 36th Brigade of Marines, which has published footage of the destruction of advancing Russian infantry and which I cannot show. The Ukrainian General Staff reported repelling an attack on Severnoy, which probably means the Russian capture of Vodyanoy. In the area of Ugledar, Russian troops made another attempted offensive, using a large 4 columns of equipment, with 5 tanks in each column, supported by BMPs and infantry. The result, however, was the same as on previous occasions. The Russians had lost at least 20 vehicles and around 200 people killed. About 200 killed and wounded. Further shelling along the front line including Kherson, but no advances.